So the new Galaxy Buds Pro are a great pair of everyday carry truly wireless earbuds to consider. But their standout characteristic are their two-way speaker setup, which truly do deliver awesome sound at a very reasonable price. But today, we're going to be directly comparing the Galaxy Buds Pro to the AirPods Pro, Jabra Elite 85Ts, and the Sennheiser Momentum 2s. Now personally, I am rather excited about this video because I really like all four of these earbuds, but I feel that each of these earbuds have their own standout characteristic that they really excel at. Now, when it comes to pricing, there is quite a range here. The Galaxy Buds Pro do manage to undercut all of these other earbuds by retailing for $200. Then, there are the Jabra Elite 85Ts, which retail for $230. The AirPods Pro retail for $250. And then, there are the Sennheiser Momentum 2s, which retail for $300. Now, if you want to pick any of these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to learn more about any of these earbuds, please watch their full reviews because we're only going to be going over their main differences. Now, first off, we got to talk about the carrying cases here because to me, this is one of the most important things to consider when looking at a pair of everyday carry truly wireless earbuds. If the case is too big, I don't want it. Now, with all that being said, all of these earbuds have decently small cases, but the AirPods Pro do have the smallest case here. The AirPods Pros and Galaxy Buds Pro's cases have very similar footprints, but the AirPods Pro's case is noticeably thinner. Now, the Galaxy Buds Pro's case is about the same thickness as the Jabra Elite 85T's case, but it does have a slightly smaller footprint. But then there's the Momentum 2's case, which is the thickest case here, and it also has the largest footprint here. Personally, I can make this case work, but definitely for the future Momentum 3s, this case needs to shrink down a bit. But at least none of these cases are as large as the Bose QC earbuds case. Now, when it comes to charging these cases, the Sennheisers, Jabras, and Galaxy Buds all charge via a USB-C port, which is convenient if you daily drive an Android device, whereas the AirPods Pro charge via a Lightning port, which is convenient if you daily drive an iPhone. But when it comes to wireless charging, only the AirPods, Jabras, and Galaxy Buds have wireless charging, whereas the Sennheiser Momentum 2s don't. Now, personally, I do find it very ironic that the Momentum 2s don't have wireless charging because they have the largest case here. So definitely for the future Momentum 3s, not only do they need to shrink this case down, but it also needs to support wireless charging. Because in this respect, Sennheiser is starting to fall behind a little bit. Now, when it comes to battery life, all of these earbuds have decent battery life for earbuds in 2021, but these earbuds really do vary depending on how you use them. Now, both the Sennheiser Momentum 2s and Galaxy Buds Pro have an advertised combined battery life of 28 hours if you use them with the active noise cancellation turned off. But if you were to use the Galaxy Buds Pro with the active noise cancellation turned on, then they have an advertised combined battery life of 18 hours. The earbuds themselves can go for 5 straight hours, and the case can supply an additional 2.5 charges. Whereas the AirPods Pro have an advertised battery life of 24 hours with the active noise cancellation turned on, and the Jabras have an advertised battery life of 25 hours with their active noise cancellation turned on. Now, if you're like me and you only use the ANC on their earbuds when they have to, then you can easily get 20 to 24 hours out of all of these earbuds. But if you are someone that's looking for the longest battery life here, then you might want to go with the Jabras because they have an advertised battery life of 31 hours with the active noise cancellation turned off, which is rather impressive because their case is considerably small. But now let's talk about the earbuds themselves. When it comes to fit, all of these earbuds fit a little differently. The Momentum 2s fit like your standard pair of in-ear earbuds. They go in a decent amount into your ear canal, just like the Galaxy Buds Plus, but they don't go in super deep like the Sony WF-1000XM3s. Whereas both the AirPods Pro and Jabra Elite 85Ts are a pair of shallow-fitting in-ear earbuds. As in, they don't go in super deep into your ear canal, which I feel is great for comfort because they don't feel as intrusive and they don't get as itchy after a while. However, I found that the Jabras don't wiggle out as much as the AirPods Pros. There's just something about the stiffer ear tips on the Jabras that provide better lockdown. But then there are the Galaxy Buds Pro, which fit between a pair of shallow-fitting in-ear earbuds and a pair of standard in-ear earbuds. The Galaxy Buds Pro don't go in super deep into your ear canal as the Sennheisers, so they don't feel as intrusive or get as itchy, but they do go in a little deeper than both the AirPods Pro and Jabras, providing better lockdown. So with all that being said, fit-wise, I feel it's a tie between the Jabras and Galaxy Buds Pro. The Galaxy Buds Pro provide better lockdown, but the Jabras do feel a little more comfortable. But now let's talk about Bluetooth connectivity because there is a lot of nuance here. Now both the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro's earbuds each establish a connection with your phone. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one, it doesn't matter. And for 2021, this is the setup that we expect to see from premium brands. Whereas both the Sennheisers and Jabras are using a Hero and Sidekick setup. So one earbud, the Hero earbud, in this case the right earbud, actually establishes a connection with your phone and then relays that connection over to the left earbud. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you gotta use the correct earbud, in this case the right earbud. Now at this point, earbuds that are still using a Hero and Sidekick setup do feel rather last gen. However, the Jabras do justify their use of a Hero and Sidekick setup because they can be simultaneously connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time. So if you're a power user that uses multiple operating systems like me, I currently drive an iPhone and a Pixel device, I can easily hot swap between either of my two phones with the Jabras. Whereas with all of these other earbuds, if you want to go from one device to another, then you are going to have to go into your Bluetooth menu and establish a new connection. However, both the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro allow you to easily hot swap between any of your devices associated to their respective ecosystems. So if you're a power user that's heavily invested into the Apple ecosystem, then the AirPods Pro are great. Or if you're a power user that's heavily invested into Samsung's ecosystem, then the Galaxy Buds are great. But if you're a power user that uses multiple operating systems, then you might want to go with the Jabras because you can easily hot swap between any two Bluetooth devices, no matter what operating system they're using, and you don't have to sign into any extra accounts. But more importantly, when it comes to performance, all of these earbuds have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. But when it comes to audio codecs, all of these earbuds have support for SBC and AAC, except for the Sennheisers, which also have support for aptX. But now let's talk about listening to music with these earbuds. If sound quality is a priority for you, then the AirPods Pro are the last earbuds you want to be looking at here. Compared to these other earbuds, the AirPods Pro sound very narrow, they put an emphasis on the mids, and their bass does not resonate whatsoever. Personally for me, I never use my AirPods Pro to listen to music. For me, I only use AirPods Pro to watch videos or to listen to podcasts. But then there are the Jabra Elite 85Ts that sound much more open than the AirPods Pro. And they also have hard-hitting bass that does resonate a little bit. Now, even though these earbuds do have a fully customizable EQ, these earbuds are better suited for people who like a warmer EQ, because these earbuds don't sound as open as the Galaxy Buds Pro or the Momentum 2s. Now, if sound quality is a high priority to you, then either of these two earbuds are good options. Actually, right now, the Momentum 2s are my favorite sounding earbuds, and the Galaxy Buds Pro are a very close second. Both of these earbuds sound much more open than both the AirPods and Jabras. They're also both going to be able to either please people who like a bass-heavy EQ because they both have rich, hard-hitting bass, and they're both going to be able to please people who like a more vocals-focused EQ because they both have crystal clear highs. However, the Momentum 2s do manage to inch out ahead here because they do sound a little more open, their bass does hit a little harder, and they also don't put as much of an emphasis on the mids and highs as the Galaxy Buds Pro. There's also the fact that you have a fully customizable EQ with the Sennheisers, whereas with the Galaxy Buds, you just have a list of preset EQs. Now, when it comes to media controls, both the Jabras and Sennheisers allow you to play or pause your music, skip a track, go back a track, cycle between active noise cancellation and your ambient mode, or even raise or lower your volume, all straight from the earbuds themselves. And personally, I really like when you have all of this control straight from the earbuds themselves. The only difference here is that the Jabras are using physical buttons, whereas the Sennheisers are using touchpads. So whether you prefer either or, one of these have you covered. But then there are the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds whose controls are a little more limited. With the Galaxy Buds, you can map pressing and holding to either cycle between your active noise cancellation, adjusting the volume, or activating your voice assistant, but you can't have it all, like with both the Jabras and Sennheisers. And then there are the AirPods, whose controls are even more limited because you can only have pressing and holding to either cycle between your active noise cancellation or activating Siri. And if you want to adjust your volume, then you're gonna have to ask Siri to do it, which does take forever versus just taking out your phone. However, one key thing to keep in mind here is that both the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro have always listening voice assistants when used with their respective devices. So if you're using AirPods with an iPhone, you can be like, hey, recall so-and-so, or if you're using Galaxy Buds with a Galaxy device, you could be like, hi, baby, send so-and-so a text, and boom, it's all done with just your voice. But now let's move on to the active noise cancellation on these earbuds. Now, first, I do want to taper expectations here. The active noise cancellation on all of these earbuds mostly focuses on constant low frequency sounds, and they aren't going to block out as much noise as a proper pair of over-ear ANC headphones. Like, let's say the AirPod Max, Sony 1000XM4s, or the Bose NC700s. Now, with all that being said, the Jabra Elite 85Ts block out the most amount of noise here. Now, they used to block out the same amount of noise as the Momentum 2s and AirPods Pro, which I feel are neck and neck. But after a recent firmware update, their ANC improved. And then there are the Galaxy Buds Pro, which do block out the least amount of noise in this lineup, but they do block out more noise than the Sony WF-1000XM3s, which are still a pair of very popular earbuds. Now, I know some people are going to say that the Bose QC earbuds block out more noise than the Jabra Elite 85Ts, and I 100% agree with you. But personally, I'm not a fan of the active noise cancellation on the Bose QC earbuds because they do consistently give me headaches. Whereas with the Jabras, they block out a lot of noise, but with not a lot of cabin pressure. So if active noise cancellation is very important to you, then you might want to go with the Jabras. But like I mentioned in the past, I only use the active noise cancellation on any of my earbuds when I have to, and what's really important to me is the quality of their ambient mode. I actually use the ambient mode on my earbuds more than I do their active noise cancellation. Now, all of these earbuds have decent sounding ambient modes, and they all do a decent job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. However, the AirPods Pro do have the best sounding ambient mode here. It sounds the most natural, and their microphone array does the best job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. Because in situations where you might get hit by a gust of wind, all of these other earbuds will pick up some kind of wind noise. The AirPods Pro will still reject that wind noise. So for someone who basically uses their ambient mode all the time when they're outside, that's a pretty big deal. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, all of these earbuds have decent sounding microphones for phone calls, but the Sennheisers do have the most amount of amplification here. Whereas the Jabras don't have as much amplification, but personally, I wish they did focus a little bit more on my voice. However, you do want to try to take phone calls with both the Jabras and Sennheisers in a quieter environment because both of these earbuds do let in a decent amount of ambient noise. Because right now, you can definitely hear a decent amount of road noise with the Sennheisers. And the Jabras are also letting in a decent amount of chatter. Whereas both the Galaxy Buds Pro and AirPods Pro do a much better job of focusing on your voice, and they also do a better job of blocking out ambient noise. Because if we were to switch over to a lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the AirPods Pro, it is severely reduced, but more importantly, my voice is front and center. And again, when it comes to road noise, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the AirPods Pro, it is severely reduced. So definitely, if you do plan on taking lots and lots of phone calls with your earbuds, then you'll definitely want to go with either the Galaxy Buds Pro or the AirPods Pro. Because right now, with the amount of remote work people are doing, having a good sounding microphone for phone calls is very important. So with all that being said, I like all four of these earbuds, and it's very easy for me to recommend any of these earbuds. But I do feel each of these earbuds have their own area where they excel. If you're an iPhone user, the AirPods Pro are still one of the most convenient, truly wireless earbuds out there. They have the smallest case here, so they aren't super noticeable when you've got them in your pocket. They have the best ambient mode here. Always Listening Siri allows you to do complex tasks, all with just your voice. And if you're heavily invested into Apple's ecosystem, you can easily hot swap from one device to another. But the AirPods Pro don't sound the greatest, and these earbuds do like to wiggle out quite a bit. Personally, I love using my AirPods Pro when I'm out doing errands, and I mostly use them to consume videos, podcasts, and take phone calls with. Then there are the Jabra Elite 85Ts, which I feel are better suited for power users that are using multiple operating systems. With the Jabras, you can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time and easily hot swap between them. They also have the longest battery life here, and they also block out the most amount of noise here. They also sound noticeably better than the AirPods Pro, but they don't sound as good as the Sennheiser Momentum 2s or the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, if sound quality is your main priority, then you still can't go wrong with the Momentum 2s. However, you are going to have to make some compromises like a fairly bulky case and no wireless charging. And these earbuds aren't as comfy for long use sessions as these other earbuds. But if you're someone that still wants great sound quality but still wants maximum convenience, then you'll want to go with the Galaxy Buds Pro. The Galaxy Buds Pro are a strong number 2 when it comes to sound. They have a fairly small case, they also fit a little more comfortably than the Sennheisers, and they're also a little bit more budget friendly. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.